Hi there, hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson I will teach you reciprocal models. Of course, there's a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one, the cost of hiring an open space for a musical festival is $120,000. And the cost will share equally by the people attending the festival. C is in dollars and N is number of people. Okay, that's very important. So that's all we need to know. Part I. So we need to complete the table by filling in the three missing values. So to do this, so first of all, we know that the amount of money or the cost that need to be divided equally by number of people. So the first one, we have 500 people attend the festival. So what we need to do, so we go $120,000 and then we divide this by number of people, which is 500. So there you go. So I just put that on my calculator. So I just go 120,123 divided by 500. So that is 240. Now N is equal to 1,000. So let me change that to 1,000. So just cancel like this. So that will give me 120. Now when N is equal to 1,500, so I change that 1,500. So just quickly cancel these two. So just go 1,200 divided by 15. Otherwise, you can just put all these numbers in, okay? So 1,200 divided by 15. So 80. There you go. It's done. Now part 2. So we need to use the table to draw a graph, okay, to show the relationship between C and N. So first one, so when N is 500, C is equal to 240. So we just plot points, okay? So 500, 240 is here. And 1,000, when N is 1,000, so 120 for C. 1,000, 120. There you go. And 1,500 for N, so C will be 80. And when N is 2,000, so that means C is 60. So to work out how many the scale going up, so what I do, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, 40 divided by 5. So that means it go up by 8, okay? So this means that for 60, so we go 40, 48, 56, and 60, roughly halfway of this. So there you go. So now, next one. So 2,500 will give me 48. So 2,500 is 48. So remember it's got by 8. So 40, 48. And then for 3,000, it give me 40. So there you go. So now we just connect these points together. So we just look at the points where we're heading to, and then we just aiming toward it. There you go. So we just put an arrow on both ends because it's going forever. So this is it. Now part C. So what equations represent the relationship between N and C? And we know N and C are inversely variations, okay? So we know that the rule is C is equal to K over N. So what we need to do is we just use any of these values to find the value of K, okay, the constant. So let me just pick 3,040, okay? You can pick any other point. In this case, I just put 3,040. So 3,040, okay, for N. So C is 3,000, so which is so for K. So 3,000 is equal to K over 40. So what I do to solve this, I times by 40 and I times this by 40. So 3 times 4 is 12. So 12 and then we have 4 zeros. So 120,000 equal K. So now the rule is, therefore, C is equal to 120,000 divided by number of people, N. So there you go. So part 4. So we need to give one limitations of this question in relation to this context. So what that means is, what is the limitations for the equations? So the limitation I can see is, if you look at this graph here, okay, the N, you can see N is all positive value. So you know that number of people cannot be negative. So N must be positive. That's 1, okay? Or you can say N must be positive integer if you like. And the cost must be, or you can say the cost must be positive, okay? So that's what it is. So I can just write 1 only. So N must be positive integers. Or you can say N cannot be equal to 0, okay? Now part 5. So the question is it possible for the cost person to be $94? Well, we can solve by mathematically. So it have to be whole number, right? If it's not whole number, it cannot be. So if it's whole number, it will work, okay? Because number of person or number of people must be whole number, okay? Remember that. So we know that C, let me write down the equation first. C equal $120,000 divided by N. And now we know that the cost is $94. So we'll just write 94 is equal to 120,000 and we divide it by N. Now to do this, I just solve N. So I do 94, it's just like 94 over 1. So I just do cross multiply, okay? So that's N times 94. So N times 94 is 94N. Will give me 1 time 120,000. So will give me 120,000. So now I just divide by 94 on both sides. So I divide by 94. And I divide this by 94. So N is equal to, so I just go 120,000 divided by 94. So there you go. So let me just write this down. So that is 1276.596 and so on, right? So therefore, it is not possible because N must be integers. There you go. Now please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How do you go? So let me go through it with you, okay? Before I do that, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's get into it. So first of all, we know that, okay, D is the depth of the foot. So first of all, we know that D is the depth of the footprint. And we know that A is the area. The question is, we need to find the equations relating to D and A. So first of all, we need to know that it is a inverse proportional to, because it said it's here as well. So to do this, so first of all, we know that the relationship between D and A is inversely proportional to, okay? So now to do this, we know the general rule for this is D is equal to K over A. And K is a constant that we need to find out, okay? So to find out K, so we need to find a point. So it's already given here. So when A is 300, because halfway between 200 and 400. So let me just write this down. So A is equal to 300. And D is equal to 15. So D is equal to 15. So now we just use this point to find the value of K. We just substitute into equations. So 15 is equal to K over 300. Now to solve this, so I just times 300 on both sides. So that cancel out. So therefore, K is equal to, so 15 times 3 is 45. So that means 4,500. Otherwise, you can just put that in a calculator. So therefore, the rule for this is D is equal to, so it's right therefore, so K is 4,500 over A. There you go. So part 2. So we need to calculate the area. Okay. So given that the footprint is 4 centimeters. So in another word, D is 4. Okay. So now we just substitute in. So when D is equal to 4, so we just put 4 is equal to 4,500 over A. Then to do this, we just do cross multiply. 4 is just like 4 over 1. Okay. And then we do cross multiply. So A times 4 is 4A. So 4A is equal to 1 times 4,500 is equal to 4,500. So now to solve for A, so I just divide this by 4. I divide this by 4. So therefore, A is equal to, so just quickly put that in a calculator. So 4500 divided by 4. So there you go, 1,125. So 1,125. And don't forget the unit, so square centimeters. So there you go. I hope you got all of them correct. Last one, please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How do you go? So let me go through them with you, okay? So first one. So we know that the pressure P is vary inversely. So that means we know that P is equal to K over V. So that is the general rule. So P is equal to, but in this case, we use the value of A because A is a constant is given. So therefore, instead of write K, I write A. So A over V. So there you go. That is the general rule. That's all we need to find. So now we need to find the constant A. Now to find the constant A, so we already have the general rule. So P is equal to A over V. And don't forget A is a constant. So therefore, we have V is equal to and P is equal to 3. So we just replace that with P is 3 and A is we don't know and V is 2. So we just write it down. So now I just solve for A. So what I do, I times 2 on both sides because I want to get rid of that 2. So this cancel out. So therefore, A is equal to 6. There you go. Now they're asking for find the pressure P when V is equal to 4. Before I do that, let me write down the equation first. So we know that P is equal to A, which is 6 over V. So now V is 4. So when V is 4, so P must be equal to 6 divided by 4. So therefore, P is equal to 6 go to 4 is 1 and remainder 2, which is 2 over 4, which is a half or 1.5. Otherwise, just use your calculator, okay? So to get this, we know that it is inversely proportional to. So the graph is like this, okay? Hyperbola. So let me label this. This is P and this is V. So we know that P equals 6 over V. So let me just write this. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Noting that we don't need negative P and V because this is applications and we cannot have negative P and we cannot have negative V. Okay, just keep that in mind. So I put this 10 here. So now I just plot a few points. So when V is 1, so P must be equal 6 divided by 1 is 6. So 1, 6, right? So I just quickly put that in here, 1, 6. And V equal to 2, so that means 6 divided by 2. So the answer is 3. So 2, 3. And when V is equal to 6, so I just put 6 here, that give me 1. There you go. And then when 8 for V, so that give me 8 here. So 6 divided by 8 is give me 3 over 4. So 3/4. And it just go on like that roughly. Okay? So it is a hyperbola functions. So we just join the point together. It's just a rough sketch. Just remember that. And the graph cannot hit both axes. Okay? Just remember. So there you go. This is just a rough sketch. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.